realization that it was kind of a bit of a scam. But bear with me, because today I will tell the full picture, the full story of self-improvement, self-help, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And let's discuss the harsh reality of self-improvement.
It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable. It's lonely.
When I was a young blood tearing up the playground, I wasn't like the super cool, popular kid, but I wasn't the real nerdy, the weeby kid. I was somewhere in between, almost as if there was a potential TV show you could make about it. The in-betweenies. I had all these interests as a kid. I was like playing guitar, doing Lego, playing games on Miniclip. But one day, my voice broke, and all I could think about was women, girls, female women. And in amongst my nerdy tendencies,
YouTube, what it do is your boy Benjamin back with the crew. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe, man. This video is titled Self-Help is Radicalizing Young Men. I can already tell we about to even be in for a doozy.
I one day stumbled across the world of online dating advice. Oh boy.
You're adorable.
Huh?
You're cute. Who are you? Okay.
In the mid-2010s, I unwittingly entered the world of self-improvement. It wasn't really called that back then, but it was really trying to tell you one thing, and that is that you need to be confident. Wow, look how straight that man's spine is. The posture of a Greek god. So proud is he in the way he walks. His voice bounces off the walls of heaven directly into your ears. That man there is confident. Oh yes, I am. And you see, with confidence, there comes women. Women love confidence. Or at least that was what this panel of men were telling their 100% male audience with complete and utter confidence. And you see, like, this very early era of online dating advice was really just putting across a pretty simple and kind of nice message that you should just be yourself, but be confident in who you are. It didn't really matter if you were like a manly man or a bit of a soft boy.
I do believe in the looks don't matter, because I am fucking testament to it, right?
I was like, hey, do looks matter? Do looks matter? What about money? I'm only 5'6". Can I get girls? There's only one thing that matters. Do you have balls?
But you see, my friends, whilst this message of self-love was being spread around the internet, at the same time there was a quieter, but slightly darker, more fundamentalist attitude spreading around the dark corners of the internet.
If he doesn't assert masculine dominance over you to some degree where he becomes a leader and a provider and a protector, you're going to look otherwise for another man.
I ain't gonna lie. So obviously there's been a large spectrum of guys that are making this type of content. There's a complete and utter niche community, because I think most people have realized, and a lot of these guys in the red pill space have been able to pick up on the fact that there's a huge sector of consumers that are looking for any which way for a I need it done or I need the get rich now method. A lot of men yearn for female attention. A lot of men yearn for connecting with the woman, or having somebody there for them, or being able to be in certain social settings, or even, of course, have all the material items that they could dream for, because they believe that it's going to get them the things that they desire, whether that be women or adulation or fame or whatever that is, notoriety, networking opportunities, etc., etc., etc. I think a lot of people realize that, and they're able to kind of completely construct their content around people or around that type of stuff in order to garner those type of consumers, right? I do think, stepping back, at the end of the day, you got to keep it real with people. A lot of dudes are getting to a point, like that little crux in life, where they're starting to, like I said, get a little bit of deeper voice, and they're looking for an opportunity to try to do what the status quo or the majority of people are doing, and that's get women. How do they build connections? How do they make friends? And so a lot of people, I think, are routinely trying to figure out what is the next steps. There is a truth to the matter. You have to have some type of confidence. I think that there's power in you being able to yearn for the things that you're desiring and make it happen. See it and you will believe it. You know what I mean? But this type of stuff, it got too far.
Conduct yourself like a gentleman, be rich, be tall, be funny, and you're good.
People are pretending it's not normal. It's not normal for a man to want more than one girl. Absolutely is normal. It's absolutely normal for men to have more than one woman. This is how we are. We're mammals like everything else.
Why do all these dudes get credence? Because they exuded the things that a lot of people were looking for. These dudes surround themselves with women. So, and obviously we don't know them for their own personal life. but we could take their word for it, or if you can just see. I think Andrew Tate came out and was dropping videos or photos where he's surrounded by a lot of pretty women, right? And then you can flash material items. So at the end of the day, you'll be able to galvanize a bunch of support because a lot of people are going to believe in you because they see, oh, he's got this thing that I want. He's got this thing that I want. He is somebody who I can take inspiration from or I can learn from. Obviously.
You look at Alliance Pride.
RSD, or Real Social Dynamics. They were like this sort of, the bad boys of online dating advice. They were kind of a bit edgier, right? Oh yeah, they were talking about confidence and that confidence was very important. But confidence to them meant something a little bit different.
The process is step one, open all. As soon as something comes within my line of sight, bang, I open it. I do this because I know that my reticular activation system is going to find every single excuse in the book, like a Nobel Prize-winning scientist of finding excuses why this girl should not be approached. She's too hot, she's not hot enough, even though you could have just chatted or gained a little social momentum.
These guys, they were really odd, right? They would dress in weird ways just to show how much they didn't give a shit about what people thought about them. What they were doing, and I don't know how thought out it was, but they were presenting the archetype of what they considered the attractive man. The attractive man behaves like this. He talks like this. And he walks like this. And most importantly, what the
that is true. A lot of it is you're marketing towards men because you're doing some, like if you tell men to work out, but then you yourself or you are saying that a man should not be in shape, then you're contradicting yourself. So a lot of these people are formulating an idea in their head that in order to be this handsome guy, you have to do these things that will lead to self-improvement. You'll get money. You'll work out. That makes you a handsome guy. And a lot of that, at the end of the day, is what a lot of guys think is attractive. And it doesn't necessarily have to do anything with what a woman looks at as attractive.
Attractive man was not you. You were not it. Fucking hell, you're not it.
How easy would it be to just fall into the frame, like letting this hectic environment dictate to me how I should feel? If I looked around, I'd be stunned in my head, oh my God, people around, filming, oh my God. But it's no, dictate the fucking rhythm. Okay, don't fall into the little permission boy frame of looking around and being a slave to your emotions. Look at this. I feel nothing. Being shot, girls, guys, people screaming.
Hey, yo.
I feel the same.
And so the self-help message had moved a little bit away from, just be confident in who you are, get to know yourself and put that out into the world. It was kind of being swapped out for be confident like we are being confident.
Why can't you look at me in the eyes? Why are you getting so nervous coming in? Look, you already ran out of things to say. Why are you laughing? You think it's going to help? Why are you quiet? Look.
So why was this happening? Well, I think in the beginning, there was an element where these people, these coaches, were starting to realize they had tapped into a very lucrative market. A market of very lonely men online who were desperate to find the love of their life.
Desperation.
Or failing that, getting laid.
Balls deep. I'm sure most of you have already read it. It's one of my better sellers.
Now look, I'm pleased to announce that in a few weeks...
Bro, there's got to be a statistic out there for how much content material there is out there in order to sway men on what they need to do to become more attractive to women. Because I think women, you can just exist in some sense. Now, granted, there's plenty of content out there in that regard, in that respect as well. How to become a wife, how to become a better woman version of yourself, etc., etc., etc. But for some reason, like I said, a lot of these guys tapped into the correct portion of the dating pool. There is a vast majority of men who are absolutely getting zero female attention and have zero male friends. Who's going to be easier to market to? The crowd that is more desperate, which is going to be these men, and particularly the subsector of men that have no connection with other people.
Week's time, I will be running a Karma Lifestyles Day Game Bootcamp.
Put together a free training down below. You can check out my brand new MVB product. The link is in the description. Check that out.
I mean, I'm not being a dick, bro. But
what is that on that joint? Have you seen Jessica Be the Way? Her and her friends keep blowing up my phone. Oh, they're here. IDK, to be honest, but come meet my new friends. If Wing approaches, enter
MVB product. The link is in the description. Check that out.
I mean, I'm not being a dick, bro, but just look at some of the people who are attending these courses.
Exactly.
Clearly, they're just the nerdy kid. Probably they just wanted to literally meet a woman for the first time.
There we go.
Maybe even get married one day.
Yep.
But these bros, these fucking salesmen, we're kind of telling them that that's, okay, getting married, but what about you become an alpha man that dates multiple women?
Yeah, Dan Blazarian was probably one of the first few ones, for sure. Social proof. I mean, hey, I show you pictures with a bunch of women. Hey, guys. So now I've got one thing that will only hook you. Whoa. A lot of dudes that are interested in women are gonna pursue me. What's up with this guy? What does he do? And then I can tell you, hey guys, get your money up. As you can see, me, I have money because I'm on a yacht in the middle of the ocean. Additionally, I work out. Hey, so guys, here's what I can do. I can sell you a fitness course. I can sell you a course how to get more money. And I can sell you a course on how to get women.
Of women, you know, women out the wazoo. Imagine you had so many women, you didn't know what to do with them. Where are my car keys? Fuck, it must be under one of these women. You see, my friends, women are the prize. They are the Pokemon cards of life in which you collect. Not in
Real spill. I hate having that discussion, but in this metric, like, women are the prize because these dudes are doing anything possible in order to garner a woman. That's it.
interesting, unique individuals that you learn about, and in turn you learn more about yourself with. You connect and you can trust each other and live together and have a beautiful life. No, my friends, women are an object in which you conquer.
In this video, I'm going to talk about the top 5 lessons that I've learned from approaching over 10,000 women. Now,
oh my gosh.
Before we go any further, this video is brought to you by CyberGhost VPN. With over 38 million users worldwide, this is the most recommended assessment. Just to give you you'll back even you're not getting as many numbers. Maybe your flake rate is going up a little bit. Well, you're in luck, because today's video, I'm going to give you the 5 secrets to seduction. You see, slowly, the advice of just be yourself, go say hello, just wasn't cutting it anymore. Yeah, you gotta neg her. Tell her she's all right for a blonde. You don't want to be a simp, right? What's that? You got feelings of affection to a woman?
That's what I was going to say. I think the red pill content has absolutely destroyed the dating market as well, because now you have a lot of men who are like wishy-washy or trying to cheat the system in how they garner female attention. So I think that it's on some weird like playing front where at the end of the day, what you've done effectively is given out so much bad advice that you've ostracized an even larger portion of men out of the dating market. Like, there's plenty of dudes now who are getting zero play because they're trying to do the most in order to emulate what these guys are saying.
What are you gay?
And they're being inauthentic.
A new culture had emerged, and it was called the red pill.
Yep.
To be honest, it wasn't new. It just sounded dramatic when I said that. The red pill and this sort of thinking had been around since it was legal to slap your wife. But the modern internet version of it kind of came around for a book called The Game in 2005, where a guy who had the fucking secrets to dating told men that they needed to wear big weird hats and do card tricks because that will make her love the real you. They presented dating like this puzzle, like a problem to be solved, like a mathematical, scientific game. They would offer advice which was pretty much anything other than genuine human expression and connection. And this style of content would go on to take over the internet.
It's reality. That's the axiomatic structure of the entire the
I gotta salute. Well done video.
See, the reason I focus on dating a lot is because I really do think that is the place that a lot of young lads start at when they enter this kind of self-help, self-improvement world. They just want to meet a woman. I really think that is at the core of lots of this. For me personally, I steered clear of like the RSD, the red pill sort of stuff. But I personally really did love the idea of meeting my future wife in a bookshop or a coffee shop. I know, little Romeo over here. Because in this period of time when you're sort of like late teenagers, early 20s, women is kind of all that matters to you. However, at some point, probably in your early 20s, you slowly are forced to think about other things than just women. Things like your career and how the fuck am I ever going to afford a house? And so as time went on, there became this fusion of different online communities. Online dating advice met online fitness and bodybuilding forums, as well as like finance gurus, all came together, had one big old orgy from which birthed the world of self-help / self-improvement.
Adonis started his self-improvement journey young. Years of good habits developed Adonis to be the kind of man that we would aspire to be. Because just look at him. He looks amazing. He feels amazing. His life is amazing. And it has all come from self-improvement.
Self-help / self-improvement really became a catch-all umbrella term for a growing subculture of people who were trying to just better themselves. And whilst it wasn't explicitly only young men, it really did appeal to lots of young men. Self-help moves beyond how to just meet a woman and becomes a new thing. How do we survive in this very changing world that's much different to the world my dad grew up in? And so the self-help movement became like introspective. It started teaching men a sort of more holistic approach to life, like better mental health practices, talking about the benefits of journaling and meditation, better physical health like eating better, supplements, sleeping pattern, getting in the sauna, doing cold plunges. It built upon the original foundation of improving your confidence and bled into how to better yourself, how to be a better man to survive the real world.
Things have become way more expensive, but wages have been stagnant, which means that you and your family are probably struggling. And it just makes you so sad and agitated as an ambitious young man. You want to be able to provide and actually help your family. And so you have the desire to make more money. I think we all, as like a generation of young men, want to make more money. We want to be able to provide. But we're just kind of confused on how to do that.
Now, Gen Z entered the big boy world in 2010s. They were finishing up uni, they were fresh-faced, ready to take on the world. But they kind of joined the game late. Everyone already had their hands, all the snacks were eaten. Post-2008 financial crash, the whole world went to shit. GDP growth stagnated, wages stagnated, and the cost of living and the cost of housing just started to go up and up. But you see, we had entered a new world, a world that was now intertwined with social media and smartphones. And so the self-help industry found a new frontier to help these struggling youngsters survive in this crumbling economy. But now with algorithms and punchy titles and retention strategies to help accelerate them. And it seemed to largely focus on young men. Whilst being completely specific, women's living standards are also going down. It might be improving from where it was, but the general trend, it's not looking good for all of us. And you see, whilst this was all happening, whilst vids were being liked and saved and shared around, slowly the decrepit, dying head of the mainstream media eventually turned around and started to see what was going on.
What is this? Things we don't understand? No, you don't.
And so, the mainstream media proceeded to post an onslaught of articles to try and explain to us common folk this phenomena.
Well, folks, the left has decided that apparently being in shape and working out is a far-right thing. Joe Rogan and Elon Musk call out MSNBC for suggesting being healthy and in shape is far-right.
Do you like going to the gym? Do you like lifting weights? Well, guess what? You're a far-right extremist, you pig.
What the fuck, bro? I'm not right-wing. I voted for Bernie Sanders. I just like to lift some weights. Look, something weird was happening here, but for us to truly analyze what was happening, we really needed a lot more nuance than what some of these articles were putting forward. And equally, some more nuance in how these articles were being interpreted by online commentators.
Lately, the trusted media like MSNBC has been enlightening us to the fact that fitness is a far-right phenomenon. So if you've been exercising, now you're caught red-handed, fascist.
Self-help is really a very nebulous term. It encapsulates lots of different groups that are quite separate. You might have an individual who listens to Joe Rogan, they then take some health advice from Andrew Huberman, whilst they go to bed with David Goggins shouting why they're worthless in their ears. That can be quite a different person than someone who listens to Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, and Sneeko, telling them that every single woman who doesn't wear a sundress all the time wants to steal their homes in which they will never be able to afford, of course. And not only that, she wants to cheat on you with a Bugatti, unless you are an alpha man.
Move forward. I'm a man.
Forward.
I am a man. I am a man. I am a man.
Now look, these are two examples of different schools of thought who are offering advice to men, but from two very different perspectives. One is sort of haplessly saying work hard and eat supplements. The other is saying buy my shitcoin and maybe one day a girl will kiss you. And just imagine, right, you're this young 18-year-old with very little life experience, and you don't know what the fuck's going on. Everyone's shouting at you, do this, buy that. That can be quite a challenging world to navigate because, we don't know, what the fuck? And imagine this young lad, right, he's gone on his journey, he starts lifting weight, he feels good about himself, and then Joe Rogan starts whispering in his ear that the lamestream media are calling you a fascist. And so from here, something started to happen. MSNBC put out this article, which originally, they changed the title in the end, but originally, the far right's obsession with fitness is going digital. This article went viral on Twitter, got 55 million views, and some very well-known people responded to it. MSNBC thinks you're a Nazi if you work out, LaMayo, said Elon Musk. Patrick Bet-David said, so is the opposite also correct? The far left's obsession with being fat and part of LGBTQ is going digital. And Joe Rogan chimed in, being healthy is far right. Holy fuck. Let's just delve into the article where it actually says a little bit. It reads, white supremacists' latest scheme to valorize violence and hypermasculinity has gone digital. In it, it talks about Hitler and Mein Kampf, how he was fixated on boxing and jiu-jitsu. And it's true, Hitler talked about the Obermensch, this perfect body of the most beautiful German man. With his strong muscles to protect the strong German men. And women, obviously. And the article goes on to talk about how there have been documented cases of far-right groups using gyms and fitness as a means of recruiting people to the far right. And it also talks about how in fascist ideology, there is an obsession with the male body, with training, masculinity, testosterone, strength, competition, and being a strong warrior. The article concludes by saying, fitness is of course a staple and hobby for many people for whom it is enjoyable and rewarding for brain health and overall well-being. Now, really, I just want to be quite fair on the article here. It is specifically talking about a specific recruitment strategy of a specific group. And all the things it said about fascism, etc. was all true, but the problem was this article was released in a period of time where there had been stories like the OK symbol is racist, maths is racist, milk is racist, air conditioning is sexist. And often, whilst there might have been, if you were to read the article or the study, there may have been some interesting nuance, something that was actually kind of interesting, contained within it.
The man accused of carrying out the shootings posted his racist views and announced what he was going to do on the web, a white power hand sign that's often used to troll or just upset liberals. Yes, I know it's a sign that we all use, it's the OK sign, but it's taken on another meaning on these forums. White nationalists use this sign in public time after time. The SPLC says this kind of wink and nudge interaction with the racist right is a direct route to its normalization. It serves as a white supremacist symbol, according to the writer Amanda Marcotte, one designed to be just ordinary enough looking that when liberals express outrage, white supremacists can then play the victim of liberal hysteria.
The media apparatus and the market incentive to get clicks led journalists and mainly the newspapers to push for more rage bait titles that they knew were going to piss off people. It was in their economic incentive for Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, and all these people to get pissed off by it, because at the end of the day, it means more eyes on their content.
MSNBC knows that people, the algorithm will respond to its tweet getting a lot of engagement, and engagement doesn't have to be positive. It doesn't have to be a bunch of people saying, oh, we love, great story, good reporting. People arguing in the comments makes it look like a lot of people are interacting with the post, which...
And that's unfortunately what we've seen a lot of, especially as content creation becomes more pivotal, and a lot of like traditional media is starting to shift over to having to worry about their social reach and their online presence. That's a lot of what we're seeing, and we're seeing even to the point where content creators are doing a lot more of that. That's where you have all these red pill guys that can come out here and say whatever they want to say and put a clip together and throw a crazy title together, or even just a quick thumbnail. The end of the day is designed to outrage people or just have people talking. Because if you have enough people talking, you can solicit these numbers from the amount of engagement that you're getting to brands, deals, sponsors, whatever the case may be, and you're getting more money. That's all the incentive is.
Technically they are, although they are screaming at one another.
And so yeah, the right-wing reactionary circuit lapped this story up. Jim is now racist.
For the trap.
Any point that they might have been trying to make around the obsession with strength, genetic superiority, idolization of like hyper-masculine characteristics, all of that was just kind of dismissed. It's a very interesting topic, and it's one I want to touch on to, because if you actually look at that original post, the Twitter post that went viral, and we scroll down a few comments, we'll read a tweet with 3.3k likes, linking a study that says increasing someone's testosterone made Democrats turn into Republicans. And if we take a little step back and look at some of the other people that commented on this article, Joe Rogan, PBD, Zuby, and Elon Musk, well, I mean, they're not right-wingers, are they? Like, they all voted for Trump. We are quite aware of that. So we're gonna have to ask the fucking question, boys. Is going to the gym right-wing? I would say, as someone who, sort of softly affiliates in this world, there is definitely an overlap with gym goers, self-help, self-improvement type people, and right-wing politics. Not all of them. I'm saying not all of them. Nuance. And I think it's really helpful if we actually just look at that study, the study that guy linked, which says that more testosterone equals more right-wing. So firstly, we have to note this study was done in 2011. This was pre-Donald Trump, quite a different time politically, and it was done amongst 136 young men. That's quite a small sample size. What they found was that people who were staunch Democrats and staunch Republicans, no amount of testosterone you could pump in them could change their mind. But then you had this little group that were kind of like weakly affiliated. I'm kind of Democrat, I'm kind of a Republican. These bros. They juiced them boys up with testosterone. They found that the Republicans, nothing changed. But then weak Democrats, when they got hit with that tea, they fucking started reading Mein Kampf. That's a joke. They became a little bit less inclined to say they were Democrat and actually felt a little bit warmer toward Republicans. Now, the paper was criticised for its very small sample size, and that the experiment wasn't run for a very long period of time, and that there was loads of potential confounding variables, things that might have influenced the results, which inside the paper they acknowledge. The paper also offers an explanation, such as that those people who were weak Democrat supporters, they may have secretly preferred the Republican Party anyway, but just kept it secret. This is a phenomenon that we in Britain call the silent Tory. It's a well-known thing. People kind of feel embarrassed for saying, yeah, I'm a Tory. But despite what the study itself said, it didn't stop it from becoming a flag that people on the right would use to confirm this suspicion that all Democrats were low-T cucks and Republicans were alpha giga-chats. And this reaction in and of itself is really interesting because what it tries to do is to boil politics and views down to a hormonal or a biological determinist perspective. That your inner chemistry, your genetics are what shapes the way you view the world. That Democrats are just weak, soft beta males and are upset because they're losing out to cool guy Republican.
It is a fact that blacks have a disproportionate amount of the violent crime in their community. Why do you think that is?
You said y'all don't f***ing understand statistics. How are you speaking on numbers? Off.
Thanks for your time.
Oh dear, that sad soy boy doesn't want to give Kirk a platform, the dude with millions and millions of followers. That makes sense.
And there's actually a Twitter thread that goes into this study and points out a few holes. The study itself showed that those people who were weak affiliated Democrats actually had the highest levels of testosterone by 19%. So despite having the highest testosterone, they were really shy and private about being Republicans. It also just sort of reiterates the fact that a pool of 136 people is very small. And so it's a bit of an inconclusive study. It also went on to say that it's well understood and well studied that testosterone levels don't just cleanly map onto like stereotypical masculine traits. Like if you were given the most alpha giga chad on earth and then the biggest soy on earth, and you were told to guess what their T levels were, your guess would be as good as random. T doesn't inherently mean hyper masculine giga chad assertive. It doesn't. There's also studies that show being a hyper aggressive dominant man doesn't mean you will have high testosterone.
Envy is. Instead of trying to elevate themselves, they try and drag others down. So when people look at my life and they're envious of me, what they should say is, he's truly from the most humble possible socioeconomic beginnings. He is a person of color from a council estate, a single mother household. He's at the bottom, and he made it up to the highest echelon. He's on the phone with Elon Musk and is a billionaire. He can do it, I can do it.
Despite the fact that they are literally an exception to the rule, and that's why their story is interesting, their story helps to reinforce the myth that anyone from any background can make it in life. But we all know that, well, because one person in the millions of people who entered the lottery won, that doesn't mean that we can all win the lottery.
Yeah, and that's why I always find some type of dissension with a lot of these people that make this type of content, because at the end of the day, you're trying to put it out there for people to make it, but at the end of the day, like he says, you are the exception to the rule. Like, for example, if you go and you're listening to, like, LeBron James on how to become a billionaire, well, brother, at the end of the day, LeBron James found a method that you are probably not going to be suitable for. You're not going to be 6'8", 250. So you're not going to be able to find a field and where you'll be able to get your foot in the door and make millions of dollars. Kevin Hart was somebody who was just unfortunately had the talent to make plenty of people laugh, and he was able to find his foot in the door and find an avenue in which he was able to start off making plenty of money to be able to branch off. So a lot of these guys have something that unfortunately you just don't have. But at the end of the day, they'll be able to get a lot of support because, like I said, a lot of people will look at the proof in the pudding, will say, okay, well, since this guy has success, I will now value what they have to say.
It just is impossible. And so if you fail to factor in luck into a person's success, even perhaps that person was incredible, they did have more willpower, more determination, perhaps they were above average, well, this can lead you down a dangerous path.
It's not good for you, and it's not good for them. No. There has to be a point at which dad comes home. And when dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now.
I would say it is true that there is like an implicit risk for an individual who pursues self-improvement, where you can find yourself in a place where you see success as like the be-all and end-all of everything. That if a person is successful, they must just be the best person, right? Makes sense. But this is a slippery road because it can lead to a point where you admire power for the sake of power. Not how the power is used or wielded. Is it used to make the world better? But rather just that they are big and powerful and they are winners.
Unfortunately, I think the life that we live is what creates a lot of these people. Because at the end of the day, everybody's just looking for happiness, the American dream. And I think that American dream has shown itself all over the world. Is that we've developed a world and where materialism is important, where scaling and having importance, being somebody, matters more than anything. And so the easiest way for a lot of people to show their worth or show their value to the earth is by the things they have. At the very smallest sense, if you were to try to have a family, have a home, it's tough. A lot of people don't have the funds in order to do so. And so it's very easy for somebody else to come up there and say, well, you don't work hard enough. And that drives a lot of people to try and yearn and learn and bust themselves, sweat until they cannot sweat anymore, and toil. Just to be able to scrape together enough money to pay rent. It's unfair.
Okay. There are people on the left who critique capitalist realism, and they will say there are alternatives. There are ways we can live, and we have lived in the past, and some countries do right now, that doesn't require this sort of cutthroat, dog-eat-dog
and that's
attitude
what it is.
to life.
That's where it stems from.
Unfortunately, to those people, and I agree with those people, that is not the world we currently live in. We live in a society that has become every man for themselves. And in that
Yep.
system, there is no alternative. You
Yep.
need to fight for your breadcrumbs. People might laugh and joke about what Sigma males and monk mode is.
And that's where a lot of that stuff can build too. Is that if you have to live in a society in which is cutthroat and every man for themselves, you start to develop a system where people believe in a hierarchy. So that's where they'll put some people like Andrew Tate on the top. They'll put somebody like Elon Musk on the top of the scale because at the end of the day, they've accrued enough wealth, resources, status in order to be at the top of the hierarchy. So these are the people that we deem to be exemplary. These are the people that we're looking at, that we're trying to emulate.
But really, it's the embodiment of rejecting the reliance on a society that offers you nothing and forces you to pursue personal responsibility for everything. But I want to just say, like, truly, in my experience, as someone who followed that entire pursuit, that self-help, the self-improvement thing, and succeeded, and I can say with confidence that in this country, in this economy, it's a scam.
I will say something too. There's a good point that he made about the difference in socio-economic status and being able to climb up in different hierarchies in regards to that economic state that you're in. A lot of that is dependent on where you're coming from. Like he talked about, he was able to garner success on YouTube because essentially he had his parents paying his bills. He had the luxury of being able to sit in his house for months with no bills and have the freedom to do a lot of the things that he wanted to do. And you see that a lot from people that do make it, because a lot of these people have this story of, man, the person let me sleep on their couch. This person let me do this. So a lot of being able to escape that crazy whirlwind of working and not chasing your dreams is what allows a lot of people to garner success in their fields that they enjoy, or just garner monetary success, or be able to spend the time to develop a crazy invention or a new pursuit. That's where a lot of that stems from, is you being able to escape the matrix.
I'm 30 years old. I have a pretty large mortgage on just an average size apartment in an average town. I drive an okay car, it's not bad. I afforded to get married. I afforded to buy the furniture for this place. And I can even afford to be the sole breadwinner of my family. That is amazing. I'm blessed. I'm truly very proud and happy that that is the case. However, for all of the fucking work I had to do and all that I achieved, materially, I have got what the average dad on one wage had an entire house working as a milkman and could afford a bunch of kids running around back in the day.
And that's what I'm saying. That's crazy. And for some, bro, a lot of people don't even look at it like that. Like, we're all trying to become uber successful simply to do these things that people were doing on bare minimum salaries. Like, it's crazy.
Better yet, I've got probably less than what the average rich kid got given by his dad today. The balance of hard work to achievements in this world
is not the same.
It's absolutely fucked. It's just, it's not proportional. And like, don't get me wrong, generations in the past did struggle. My parents' generation definitely struggled with this. But back then, at least wages grew with inflation.
Right. So, this is just real spill, man. Like, he's cooking. I mean, look at it, bro. As things got harder at the end of the day, plenty of people were living a tough life, but there was a sense in which you could at least aspire to work a little bit harder in order to grow. Now you can work as hard as possible, and you can still be sitting there struggling out on the street. It's crazy.
They weren't getting poorer over time for doing the same work. Also, those jobs were more secure and stable. They could plan their futures. And, most importantly, houses were affordable. That is not true anymore. And so to bring the point back, it leaves me in this weird place when I think about my relationship to self-improvement. I definitely see its major shortcomings. I've seen it and witnessed how it can lead young people to idealize the pursuit of being like the perfect archetypal man rather than just being themselves, that they're not enough. And the more extreme side, like the red pill stuff, can definitely teach people bad attitudes towards women. And the self-help world, at its very worst, can teach people to look up to power for the sake of power, which is a slippery slope that can lead to like biological determinist views, which, you know, it's pretty much next door to ending up as a bit of a fascist. People who see strength, power, and superiority as the be-all and end-all. Nothing else matters. However, look, that is self-improvement at its worst. At its best, however, if you go to the gym, if you eat well, you become more disciplined. As well, if you become more confident in your skin, if you start to understand your emotions better, who you are, it can give you some real solid tools to help you survive in this fucked up economy. And on top...
And I think that's where a lot of it gets mixed up at, too. Is that a lot of people are looking to self-improve, but they're looking not necessarily to improve themselves. They're looking to chase after what somebody else is doing.
How about that, to those of us who oppose this system that we live in, it can help give us the energy for us to try and fight it. By embracing some of these characteristics, hopefully we can reach out and help some people join us into trying to bring around some change for this world. Instead of letting people manipulate them into admiring the wealthy and the powerful, perhaps we can tap into some of that strength to wrestle back this country from powerful billionaires who have stole it from us. And I hope that we can somehow improve self-improvement to make us focus on working together to bring about a better world rather than being simply a tool for just survival. If you enjoyed this video and you want to support,
great video, man.
Massively
Great
appreciate
video.
I'll catch you.